That car looks like he's turning. It's a rainy day before I get started on my talk for the ride. It's a very rainy, nasty day. Washed my hair, twisted it up so I can keep it nice and tameable and organized. And I don't have to worry about it. I can just kind of, put some tea tree oil in it. It's a treatment. Because I hate dandruff. So I put that in my hair. But yeah, I dressed up a little warmer today because I'm like, it went back down to cold, which is fine with me. I'm starting, like I said before, I'm starting to appreciate the cooler weather as I get older. So I'm not in no rush for summertime. But yeah, that's just been my day. And between my day, I've been listening to a lot of videos. I posted a few up with God Logic. He's good. You got to look at him. His name is God Logic, his channel. And, he talks a lot about how there's a lot of false religions out there. He does debates, and I'm not a big debater person, but I like his channel. And the reason I like it is because he doesn't debate to be right and try to talk over you and trying to demean you, but more of trying to debate in order to win you over to the truth, to tell you the truth and get you to question things. So sometimes he'll act as if okay, you say this is your book and this is true. Show me this and that. You know what I mean? But it's not for the purpose of trying to be right and demean somebody, but more of to get people to the truth. There's been times, as any other human being, he'll get angry, he'll get annoyed if they're doing things passive aggressive or, wasting his time. He's going to get annoyed, let's say, I posted one about the Israelites. He says, these dummies, right? Because, the truth is that there's some religions out there that just spread pure hate, and they use the Bible and twist it to their agenda. So in that case, it is something that would make you very angry, because it's not of God. It's of man-made religion. That's your religion to make you feel like you're superior to other human beings. So that's where you get the anger comes in, So some things like that, I can kind of feel him on that. But that's a good channel, because a lot of people came to Christ through that channel. A lot of people came to God through just coming on there and listening to him. There are people who debated him on there, came on there, and then they turned to the and they left that religion. They're or they things. They were on there at one point, and then they said, I came to the truth. So it's very amazing, how God uses people to get the truth out. But the one I showed about Jehovah's Witness was very interesting, because 2 Jehovah's Witnesses that were on there at one time came to the Lord, and he didn't have to say anything. And so I posted those 2 things up. And then, I listen to different things as I go out through the day, and as I'm cleaning, because I got to keep myself occupied. And today I just didn't feel like listening to music. Even now, I don't even have any songs on right now. I just don't feel like listening to songs or music right now. I don't know. I'm just in that moment or phase where I'm just I want quietness around me, but I like to discuss things, or get my thoughts out on things, or I could say stuff that's going on. And I got a good long ride here, about maybe we're gonna say another 30 minutes till I get around to my mom's area. I'm staying the night there tonight. We're gonna go bowling first, and then we're gonna be cooking overnight again. But I've been feeling so tired. I don't know. Today, I felt exhausted. I went to bed early last night again, and slept all throughout. Slept up to probably 5 o'clock this morning. I mean, I went to bed early. It was probably before 8 o'clock that I fell out. And I'm telling you, I just feel tired all the time. And I got up at 5, started my day, and then around 9 I fell out again. Or was it 8 o'clock? I think I fell out again around 8, and then woke up at 9. And then after that, I said, wow, I'm just keep sleeping. I gotta stop sleeping. And I stayed up and that's when I started my cleaning like an hour later. And then I, also been working on my diet. So, I made 2 pieces of grilled salmon today. I only had one because I'm trying to watch out for my, protein and everything. So I made salmon, yams with the butter that I use, that I have. It has a little off taste, but I'll get used to it. And I had a big salad, and I didn't even have my I didn't make my strawberry smoothie today. I didn't have no time. That's how busy I was. I didn't even get around to doing that, or like cooking dinner before I left. I wanted to do that, but I didn't have the time. I took a little 30-minute break, laid in my bed because I felt tired. My eyes was closing, and I said, I gotta stay up. Then I got up, washed my hair, and did everything. I just feel tired all the time. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's I'm getting older or just, it's the vitamin D levels. I think that's mainly it. But I think it's other things too. I just think I'm mentally tired. That's what it is. I think I'm just mentally exhausted. Not physically, mentally. I don't know, I just think I'm tired mentally. I just feel like time flies by so quickly, and there's never enough time for anything. And it's becoming more and more draining to find time to talk to people. I just feel tired. And it's to even talk to people, I start dreading it. I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. Oh. And I'm exhausted. Sorry, I'm rambling on. That's just really what's been going on with me. I just feel like that lately. I've just been tired. And I'm trying, even now, I still feel tired. Even though I don't seem like it, I do feel tired. Mentally, though. Just mental tiredness. I think I really need a getaway weekend where I'm just by myself, or just me and my husband maybe, because my husband normally doesn't like to be up in my space a lot, and I just need to get away for the weekend and just have the ocean and just everything, just relax, do nothing, don't clean, don't do nothing. I just need a weekend to breathe and just think. I just feel like I'm on the go all the time, and just mentally I'm just it's overwhelming. I need to find a weekend to just sit in and relax and just look at the sun, do no work, no cooking, or not, just relax. I need a weekend like that, and I haven't got one yet, where I just stay in and do absolutely nothing. I would have to find a day during the week to clean up the house. But let's get to my topic on here. That my life is in the hands of God. As a child of God, anyone who is a believer, we always know that God is in control of everything. Everything. He's in control of my path, my choices, my career, my life, my health. His hands is on everything. When it comes to everything in this life, it's all in the hands of God, because at the end of the day, He's the one that's in control. And I trust God, and I trust that everything that He does is good and is righteous, that He's going to get me through all things, even through my worst moments. Even with this job that I got, I pray on it. I didn't just sit back and say, oh, they are going to hire me. This is the job. This is what I want. No, everything that I do, I always have to remember it's in God's hands. And I say, God, I pray on it. I say, bring me to the right place. Bring me to somewhere where I'm going to fit in. I'm going to get comfortable and feel like, a job where it is not drama. I don't want to be around people that are going to be, doing all this stuff that, like drama and gossip and, is workplace toxicity. You know what I mean? So, I prayed about these things before I got that job. I said, this job isn't for me. Don't let it happen. Right? And I got this job, and just like any other place, there will always be some little negative Nancy's or two in a job, or somebody who's a troublemaker or whatever. But for the most part, it's a really good job. I'm very thankful. And it's with my coworker from my last job. So we both went together, and see how God works? Brought us two there together at the same job, and we got interviewed at the same time. Isn't that something? Same coworker that prayed for a coworker on my last job at the gastro place. She prayed for a coworker that was going to be able to work along with her, and I came, and now it's been 12 years, well, 11 years almost, and we're still working together at the new job, you know. So it's amazing how God works. See how He works? She prayed for a coworker, somebody she can work with, and here I came. Was a believer like her, and then now we still stuck together at the new job, and we both got hired and interviewed at the same time. That's the greatness of God. So, you know, we two both came to the same place. Everyone can see that obviously we have a very good relationship, and you know, and I'm glad that I work with the guys. I'm not to sound sexist, but women are too much drama for me. They're too much drama. They just too much sometimes, and that's one thing about women. So I can't deal with women a lot. So I think God knew what He was doing when He put me in where I was. He had me sitting with the guys back there. Two guys. There's one that's but he's zero tolerance drama. You know. Gets annoyed easily, but I don't care about that. I just don't want somebody who wants drama around him. He's like the type of guy, he's got his wife, he's got his kids, he's like, I'm here to get my job done, I'm gonna go home after that, and that's it. And I like that about him, you know, because like he don't gossip, he's not bothering me, he's not sitting here and being jealous and petty and, hey, guess what? It's like, you know, I don't have to deal with any of that. And so I'm like, oh, God is place. I'm telling you, He put me in the right place. I said, God knew what He was doing. He said, Candace is not going to work well with these women. Candace got to go with these guys. I don't know what it is. Like, I just can't. I just don't like. I don't know if I go. I don't know if the word dislike is the right word. I don't know if I can say I dislike women. I will just say I just don't really vibe with a lot of women. There you go. I'm just not into a lot of like. You know, I just don't really relate. Other relate with, I don't know what it is. Like, you know, and she was saying the same thing. A lot of her male friends are like the coolest, you know, and a lot of people automatically assume the worst case scenario. Oh, she's cheating on a man. Ain't nobody worrying about no damn cheating. Like, why the hell would I want to cheat? Like, come on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like far from my mind. Like, you know, trying to be with a guy and doing all that's like so high school, you know. I don't want to do all that. I just want someone genuine to talk to that I can relate to, and I relate to a lot of men for some reason. Like I wouldn't say in the sense of I think like I'm a man myself, I'm a woman, but our mindset, you get what I'm trying to say? Our mindsets, like the way a man thinks or go about things, I tend to be a little bit like that. I wouldn't say all the way because I'm not a man, I'm a woman. But I have a lot of similarities on the way I look about things or like how men think, you know? A woman will be in a freaking shopping center for a long time and me, I get freaking annoyed. And I'm like, come on, why does she gotta look through the whole damn thing? Come on, that's how I am. Like, I don't like to be in a shopping center long. So men understand me in that situation. You know, why do women gotta take so damn long in a shopping center? So a lot of times when I go shopping, I get annoyed. After 25, 30 minutes, I'm out of the store. Less than that sometimes, I get annoyed. I don't have patience. So that's where, you know, as part of that's a good example of what I mean by I have similarities to a man, like their mindset and the way I go about things. You know, I don't like all the pettiness that women do. You know, a lot of guys, if they got like drama or whatever, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them in general, they're just more like they got their beef and then they just settle it. Like men say, all right, whatever, man, F you, whatever. You know, whatever, let's just move on. You know. You know, they're like that. So the guy that I work with, he's very similar. So, you know, he gets annoyed with something, he just gets it off his chest and that's it. He don't want to talk about it no more. He says, whatever, just drop it. That's it. I only got time for this. All right, let's go back to work. You know, I like that about him. Like, he's not, you know, petty and, you know, drama and, oh, I'm going to get back. Like, I don't got time for all that. You know, and And guess what? He talks about conspiracy theories too. And he was talking about a lot of things that me and EQ talk about. So I'm like, okay, so there you go. I come on with this guy now, see? So I like those kind of topics, and Jen, of course, she's into those topics too. So, she's a very cool female that thinks very similar to a guy and their mindset and the things that they want to talk about. Not that we don't talk about women's stuff, but I'm just talking about just in general, like our mindset, certain things we think about, talk about, I don't know, women I don't know, they just drive me crazy sometimes. But yeah, but God knew what he was doing. He says, Candace, you're going to work with, you're going to work here. And he put me with the right people, with two guys. They ain't bothering me. They just mind their business and they do their job. And that's it. They ain't gossiping and crying. God knew. He knew. And then, when it comes to like anything, I pray about everything. My job, my health. God, my health is in your hands. That's it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I could do whatever, but it's all in the hands of God. When it comes to my path, God, where do you want me to go? Where do you want me to move? If right now someone offers me a house still, and it could be a really good cheap house, I'm just gonna pray to God about it. Say, God, is this where you want me to be? If not, don't let it happen. Let something get in the way of it. If it is meant for me, and this is the place I need to be at, then let it happen. Let something happen where I'm like, I know this is from you, because this is like a one-time chance type of thing, and God has a way of doing that, just like with the kidney surgery. I mentioned that story several times, with my mom, and how he blessed her and that other woman who was on dialysis for 10 years. And then, she was almost on her way out. And at the right time, she got a kidney from me, and then her daughter gave her kidney to my mom. And the thing is that we were a rare match. We prayed to God about this. My mom prayed, how she said, God, because she felt a conviction about getting a dead donor's, kidney, because she's, heard some things about it, which I believe, that a lot of times they're not fully dead when they take the organs out. So it really bothered her. She was like, I really don't, she was like, so she says, it's in your hands, God. And God was like, God knows how you think. He knows what you're going to do. He knows what's going to bother you and your conscience. So he would never want to put you in a situation like that, where he's making you do something that's going to go against your conscience. That's, God's God of love. So, just out of nowhere, we got bumped up to the top of the list. First priority, rare matches, 90%. There you go. You're like, this is God. Wow. And that woman was on her way out, like, come on. And she's a believer, because when she wrote the letter to me, she said she was going to keep me in her prayer. So obviously, I can see that she prays. And I'm like, wow. So it's amazing. Like, it's amazing, like, how God works. And, you just got to trust him. It all comes down to trusting him, and putting your life into his hands. Even in the worst of worst, in the storms, when things seem so impossible, guess what? It ain't impossible in the hands of God. I'll tell you that right now. When it comes to what I want to do with my life, God, it's in your hands. What do you want me to do? If you don't want me to pursue music, or you don't want me to pursue these hobbies, what do you want me to pursue? Is this going to get in the way of our relationship? Because what I don't want is to pursue something and I'm spending so much time on it that I forget you, like in a sense of like neglecting him and not spending enough time with him. Because that has happened to me before. Not that I've forgot him where I didn't think about him every day, but I didn't spend time with God. And then I got all wrapped up in all the foolery of this world. And, even on my live streams, I was out there talking about things that had nothing to do with God. Nothing. And then you get wrapped up in drama. And then you get wrapped up with conversations that are worldly and nothing about God. And then all your time's being spent on foolery, and then people want to start drama, and then you get pulled into things, and then you're talking about a sex stream, or you're talking about, let's drink all the time, or let's talk about all these other things in the world, but nothing about God. And then you get so wrapped up into the holidays and the stuff out there in the world and the trends, and then you forget God. And when I say forget, I mean, like, not that you don't trust on him or believe on him, but in the sense of, like, you become like a neglectful, abandoned, like a neglectful, like, spouse that don't spend time. They just sit around and they don't spend time with you. You're just sitting there. So these are things that I pray to God about. I say, anything that's going to cause a distraction in my life, pull it away. When it comes to my walk in my relationship with you, what is it that you want me to do? Because sometimes people try to pursue things on their own, right? And I'll give an example. Like, some people will open up a church or become a pastor, but that may not be what God had asked you to do. And you may not be the person that he called to do that. Wow, it's dark down here. Ooh, it's dark. He didn't ask you to do those things. So now you're caught up in something that God didn't plan for your life. And then you could be misleading a lot of people with false doctrines because you're not educated in the word through the Spirit. You know what I mean? You're not very equipped in the word of God and knowledge and understanding of his word, because it's a very spiritual book. It's more than what you're just reading. There's a lot of metaphors in the Bible, and then it's in there that you need revealed through the Holy Spirit, that you don't find out through human knowledge. So God has a way of opening you up to things and making you have a better understanding of his word. And see, if you're sitting there leading people with your own understanding, that's how you get what you see today with all these false religions, because people want to take things upon themselves to do something, and then they start reading the Bible and they read it from their own lens, from their own understanding, and they were never called by God to do that. And they have so much to learn. Even if they do have knowledge of the word, that doesn't mean necessarily that God is calling you to be a pastor or a preacher or whatever like that. He could be calling you to do something else for the church, to be a servant, or to feed the poor and hungry and spread the gospel as you're doing that, and telling people about Christ and how he's out here. He's looking for he's looking for his sheep, for the lost sheep. There's people that open up shelters for the homeless, and it's a Christian shelter. Maybe that's what God wants you to do, and to take care of people and to show people his love and to honor him. So you don't know how God is going to use you and what he wants you to do. You have to pray on it. You have to ask God to lead you to those things. We don't take things upon ourselves. And see, when you don't have God in your life, and you know what I mean? You don't have the Lord leading you in your life. Of course you feel like you're in control, but you're really not. You don't got that much control. There's a lot of things that happens in this life that's out of our control. But guess who can manage those things? And guess who has the power to take control of all things? God. Jesus. He's the only one that can take away all things. He's the only one that can cure you of issues, mentally get you through things. We in this life, we can, go through certain life experience, and, maybe we have an inner strength put into us, but there's only so much strength that we can have. Or something to look forward to. There's a day coming where all this is going to be going, and it's going to be a great judgment hitting this land, the whole world. There's going to be tribulation, And a lot of stuff is going to happen, and people are going to be upset and hopeless, and they're not going to know how to deal with it, and they're going to have no one to turn to. Their money won't mean nothing, and they won't know who to turn to. And if you ain't got God in your life, of course you're not going to have no hope. Imagine a life where there is no one to turn to. Nobody's going to save you. No one has the power to save you. And you're going to be in a world of darkness and all these things happening around you. You could be the richest man in the world and your money won't mean nothing anymore. And there's going to be people going to be under control and all this evil around you. And there's going to be all these natural disasters happening at the same time. You know what the Bible says? It says that 1/3 of the world will be gone by famine, pestilence, and fire. Now, what does fire mean? I don't know. But you know what? Ain't nobody got no power to take out no fire. I mean, you can take out water, but I'm talking about a fire where it's coming from the sun and it's burning up the atmosphere and everything. You ain't got no power against that. Or maybe it's going to be a nuclear bomb. I don't know. Or a war that's going to wipe out 1/3 of the world. We don't know what fire means. But if it means that the earth is going to burn, okay, guess what? You have no power against that. The only one that has power against that to stop that is God himself. And there's going to be a day coming. It's coming. And it's going to be all this stuff happening. And the Bible told us it's coming. So, you know, when that day happens, there's going to be a lot of people, I'm sure, that are going to be sitting there who's hopeless because they don't have God in their life. They don't have faith. They don't have God. And they don't know anything else other than this world, a world that is dying, that's vain. That's pretty sad. But that's what we children of God are here for. We're here because we have our purpose is the Lord. We live for the Lord. At the end of the day, when I wake up and go to sleep, I live for the Lord. If it wasn't for God being in my life, and honestly, that if I don't have him in my life, I don't want to exist. And that's the truth. I don't want to even exist because life is meaningless. I live for the Lord. And that's not just me. It's everyone who truly are children of God who came to the truth. Once you find who God is, you're not turning back. You're like, I don't want to see nothing else. If God ain't there, I don't want to be there. If I don't have God at all, I don't even want to exist. Our purpose is for the Lord. Anything else in this life, it's just a cycle that just keeps going on and on and on. You wake up, you go to work, you have children, you have a husband, and it's just a cycle, you know. And a lot of people, and I've mentioned this before, the doctor that I worked with before this new place that I'm at, he has a career, he's got money, he's got a job, he's got a wife and kids, he's got a nice house, got money up to Watuzo in his bank, and he ain't happy. And he tells me, he says, Candace, what's the meaning of life? And he's sitting there crying. I will never forget when he had asked me that. 60-something years old. When all the patients are going out of his room and everyone is gone and he's by himself with just me. That's what he tells me. He says, Candace, what's the meaning of life? Is this all life is? Just have kids and work and just sit here all day? This is all life is about? No, it's not. Because that's not what life was meant to be about. That's not what your life is for. This is not supposed to be your life. Your life was supposed to be with God. Our purpose is the Lord. He's the only one that can truly complete you and fulfill you. That is just it. And he's beyond anything that you can recognize or understand. And so you were created for something great, and that is God, to serve him. You're not complete in a person or a baby or a job or money or any of these things in this world. Never. If you were, there will be all these happy people around you with kids talking about, I'm happy with this life, and this is all I need. My kids fulfill me, and I feel great. But if that was the case, why are you looking for another man? Why trust the guy? You say you're not happy, so now you want to be with another man. If that's all that made you, that's all you need to make you fulfilled, you shouldn't be looking for another man in your lifetime. You should feel like, this is everything I need. You shouldn't feel like I need to find happiness from another man because I couldn't find it from the last guy. Your job makes you happy and your money makes you happy, then why are you running through several women in bed every night? And none of them can fulfill you. It doesn't matter how many you have, you're still not happy. Going out to vacations every year or every couple of months, guess what? It gets boring after a while. You're like, I've been there already. Yeah, I went there, but now I'm kind of getting tired. I want to go home now. I miss my family now. This life is vain. That's what the Bible makes clear. It makes you see this over and over countless times again, that this life is vain. Am I saying don't go out, enjoy yourself, and live your life? No, absolutely not. God didn't sit back and tell you not to live your life and just sit there and be a doll baby just on a shelf. No, but we got to be mindful that this life is temporary. We can't make it our everything. God should always be first. He is always in control, and your life is in his hands. Everything we do should be always taken to the Lord, really. Sometimes we think we know what we want, and then we go into something and realize this is not what I wanted. Even in your marriage, they tell you to marry in the Lord. So even when it comes to marrying somebody or finding someone to be with, you have to pray to God about that. And if you choose to marry whoever you want, go ahead, but you may turn around and say, wow, I married the wrong person. This, now you're stuck with this person unless you choose to leave them or something. You're like, geez, I wish I had prayed to the Lord about this and asked him to reveal things to me. Heck, when it comes to your relationships with people, pray to God about it. Don't just be friends with anybody. Ask God about all your relationships with people. Say, God, reveal to me who are my real friends. And I'll tell you, he really will expose who is real and who is not real to you. He really will. You'll pray and say, God, show me who's my real friends and who isn't. And he has a way of exposing things. He'll make masks fall off. And he will show you. And it'll be more people than what you even think. And you'll be like, wow, God really answered my prayer and showed me. So when it comes down to anything, you have to trust God and you have to let him lead you and direct your paths, your life, everything, your decisions, everything. You have to trust him wholeheartedly with everything. Everything about yourself and your life. Your decisions, your goals, everything. But I'm almost towards my mom's house. 35 minutes I've been driving. And I guess another 5 minutes I should be down there. But I do need to get something to eat. I really don't want to get anything, but I didn't get a chance to eat my dinner because, of course, I've been so busy. I wonder what can I really eat because I really am trying to be careful with my cholesterol levels. I don't know. I'm going to have to see. Because I don't want to drop weight either. I mean, I had a salmon with salad, and then this morning I had the cereal, and Then I had a PBJ sandwich, so I'm doing my best to try to maintain my weight, but also get my LDL levels down. Oh boy. I guess, I don't know, maybe I'll cheat this one time and then, I don't know. Wawa's out of the question, too much sodium in their food. Just don't know. Let's see. Maybe Tim Hortons got something on the menu that's not too bad. I don't know. But take care, everybody. God bless. Take care of yourselves. And have a happy rest of your Saturday or Sunday, wherever you are. Bye-bye.